Aegisthus and Clytemnestra reigned supreme over Mycenae after Agamemnon's death, the great hero who led the Greeks to Troy. The slain king's supporters had already been silenced, for Aegisthus, during Agamemnon's absence, had placed men of his trust in the most important government positions. With the queen's support, he usurped the Mycenaean throne. But Aegisthus still had a matter to settle. Orestes, a 12-year-old child. He was Agamemnon's legitimate heir and would become a future contender for the throne. But Aegisthus did not want to kill the child immediately, for he knew what Clytemnestra was capable of, and he feared he would have the same fate as Agamemnon. But Electra overheard Aegisthus plotting with one of the minions on how to get rid of Orestes, making it all look like a mere accident. During the night, Electra executed a plan to deliver her brother from a terrible fate. They ran away so as not to be seen by the palace guards. She led him to a knight who was a loyal servant of Agamemnon, who would take the boy away from Aegisthus. Before leaving, Electra made Orestes swear that, as soon as he became an adult, he would return to take revenge on his father's murderers, and he did. Orestes was taken to Phocis, where the court of King Strophius, the boy's uncle, was located. The king raised Orestes as a son and prepared him to accomplish what he most desired, to avenge his father's death. Many years passed, and Electra prayed in Apollo's temple at Delphi that her brother would return and bring with him the god's vengeance. She could no longer bear to live under the rule of Aegisthus, who prevented her from marrying, lest she beget another heir to Agamemnon. On leaving the temple, she was approached by 3 young men, who said they had news of Orestes, the brother she had not seen for years. Electra returned to Mycenae and threw herself into her mother's arms weeping. She carried the ominous news that Orestes had died in a chariot accident during the Olympic Games, and that his body would be brought by his friends to receive the proper funeral rites worthy of a prince. Clytemnestra appeared to have conflicting feelings towards her son's death, as Orestes' passing meant peace to the kingdom by no longer being a threat to Aegisthus. Electra informed Aegisthus of the arrival of Orestes' body, and he replied that it was the first time she had opened her mouth to say something pleasant. Aegisthus went quickly to ascertain whether that was really the prince's body, but he was surprised when he lifted the sheet covering Orestes' body. It was Clytemnestra's corpse, with her belly pierced by sword strokes. At that moment, Orestes drove a sword through the usurper's chest, consummating his revenge against the man who killed his father and stole his throne. The story of the return of the prince of Mycenae, who killed his mother and the murderer of his father, spread throughout Greece. Part of those who heard it considered the prince's act of killing his own mother to be ominous, and so he would still undergo a terrible ordeal.